Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. We from group 1 for ACJ 3013. My name is Farzana binti Idris. My metric number 11800042. I want to explain about the differences between news and feature writing. Okay, there are many differences between news and feature writing. Okay, first one, for legs. In a news story, the emphasis is on content rather than form. News stories go straight to the point using simple and effective word to deliver the fact quickly. They usually around 400 word. Okay, next, for language, in the news, use simple and factual language. Okay, next, for the production, the media outlet want to publish news stories as quickly as possible after an event occur. Okay. Next, for presentation, in news stories, information is most important. Often, but not always, accompanied by a relevant photograph or illustration. Okay. Next, for the content, in news stories, the content included in the news is the recent or breaking news. Okay, next, for the intro, in news stories, the intro has to sum up the whole story, revealing every fact up from in a news in brief nip style. Then a news story have types of beginnings and endings. News stories tell what the news is up from and then give the most important details in the first paragraph or two. A news stories can end everywhere after you describe the most important fact. Okay, next, for sources and angle. As for sources and angle are allowed in the news, but not always contain more than one sources and angle. Okay, for the last one is structure. For structure, using the pyramid scheme. Okay, news stories can be cut from the bottom up with the item of less value put at the end of the story. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum Doktor, my name is Nur Fazila Aimi and my metric number 1180-160. I will continue to explanation about the further writing and what the difference with the news writing. My first point is content. In further writing, any news will cover. It could be news related or human interest or science further. Okay, for example, science further, this is a headline from the Star News. Pay special attention to your head after 40 years old. Okay, the intro of further writing, it often has a human focus or tells an anecdote. It's because the further needs to have an intro with impact and the further itself needs to be topical and interesting the reader, and it has to have a significance of ending. For example, sejak kebelakangan ini aktiviti berbasikal dilihat sudah menjadi trend from Sinar Harian Lead. Okay, the structure of further writing, it's more flexible because can take linear or a non-linear structure or include the storytelling However, conclusion is more important. Okay, the flexible. The further need to be to the point, simple and easily understood, just like a news story. And the further must have informative and entertaining, but it easy to read. Okay, the conclusion is the part that makes the most impact with the reader, and it's the part that rounds off the entire piece, just like with a fictional story. Okay, the length and timing from the further writing up to 2,000 words and more time to spend. It because the further often more wordy and they have a creative structure. Okay, and the further is not as time dependent and content not urgent content. Okay, it can write anytime after an event occurs. Okay, the presentation is designed to be attractive and usually includes more than one original photograph and illustration. Okay, the source and angle from the further writing always contains a variety of sources and angles. For example, from research and data analysis. Okay, the angle have two form. The first one is the national angles and local angle. The national angle is taken by national media for major stories, trend pieces, and stories about issues that affect the country as a whole. The local angle comes when a reporter localizes those stories and focuses on the local or regional impact of those events, making them immediately relevant to the local readers. Okay, the languages from the further writing use more description and colorful language. Okay, it can take a more personal tones, use anecdote, more style depend to reader. Okay, for example, description and colorful languages. Berbunga-bunga hati mahasiswa untuk pulang ke kampus kerana sudah lama tidak berjumpa rakan-rakan dan belajar secara bersemuka, iaitu face to face.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Mukrim Muhammad Zakir. My metric number is 118026, and I will talk about type of lead that used in article, news article and features writing that we pick and put in our scrapbook. Okay. First of all is local Malay news. Most of lead that type of lead that used in news writing is summary leads. And apart from summary lead, in the local Malay news article 3 there is astonishing leads. And in the local English news, the third article is using direct quotation leads, and also the fifth article is also use quotation leads. And the international English news, most of them is use summary leads, and only a few from article that we pick use aside from summary leads, there is description leads used in article 4, article 5 and article 10 under the international English news. And in features writing articles, the first article use summary lead, and the second direct lead, and the third is punch lead, and the fourth is summary leads, and the fifth is description leads. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Susanna Betty Ismail. My metric number 118014. Okay, now we will go to analysis news based on elements headline, lead, and inverted pyramid writing style. Firstly, headline. Headlines are really the most important part of article writing. Is it? Firstly, interest the reader. Headline is the first thing that can grab the attention of reader. For example, mayat terapung dalam parit. The headline can catch the attention of reader to know what actually happened, what, where, when, who, and why. And then catchy. A catchy headline is extremely important to bring the reader into view a news. It includes words and talk designed to catch someone's eye and get that person interested in reading what followed the headline. Nilofa sudah berbodah. The question in the headline should be something that our audience want to know. If we ask something they don't care about, then we will lose them. To be interested, we need to tie the question to our main benefit. Our aim for one of to respond, yes. As Indo, you want to know, is it true now? Nilofa now dons the niqab, and tell me. This tool blew the analyzed expectation. And the third one is in bold. Bold can add some inkiness to help hidden stand out from the main text. You can see the answer per net, type punctuation leaves 2 deep and over 100 inches.
My name is Amina binti Ibrahim, metric number 1180168. Today, I would like to present about headline. Firstly, what is headline? Headline is words said at the head of a passage or page to introduce or categorize. For example, COVID-19, 3 Gudat localities under enhanced MCO from Friday, October 30, says Ismail Sabri. Firstly, types of headline is serious or humorous. Serious headline is news that contains serious point, while humorous headline with funny point. For example, serious point, Channel News Asia, CNA, pilot killed as Taiwan fighter jet crashes into sea. Beside, only has a few words. Headline just only have a few words in headline. For example, Berita Harian Online. COVID-19, 8 positif kluster baru di Johor. And the last one, action verbs. Action verbs headline is tell someone what to do or shows that the subject is doing. For example, AFP News Agency. Turkey vows legal actions over Charlie Hebdo cartoon. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Asila binti Ruzi, metric number 1180166. I would like to tell about the types of news. There are 2 types. Number 1 is scheduled and number 2 is unscheduled. Schedule is about reporters are invited, for example, talks, press conference. Usually it will held by celebrities and politicians. We can see Aaron Zafrul and Wawa Zainal as celebrities, and the second picture is Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham. Okay, number 2 is unscheduled events, issues created by media. That means media find the most interesting to blast to the newspapers or online newspaper. For example, due to attract readers and viewers. For example, the news that I got is the 13 tahun berlalu selepas pembunuhan kejam Nurul Jazlin. Okay, it was terrified news. What can I conclude? That the news that all of our group of my group gather is about almost of them are unscheduled events. That's all from me.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akmal binti Zulum. My metric number is 1180163. So inshallah today I'm going to explain the inverted pyramid news writing style. So what is the inverted pyramid news writing style? It is It is the methodology used by writers or journalists where the news stories are organized using the inverted pyramid writing style, in which news are presented in descending orders of important information. And this inverted pyramid writing style is made up of three different stages, which is the top of it is the most important information. The second stage is the secondary information, and the third one is the least important information, which is it contains the general information that added to color the story. And in inverted pyramid writing style also there are attribution and quotation, which is the quotation is the contains speech by sources, and attribution is the full name of the person or providing the quoted materials. It also divided in text quotation, indirect quotation, and direct quotation. So I'm going to explain the most important sources, which is at the first stage. So the most important information usually address the most important information in which to get the reader's full attention and make the reader able to ascertain the key elements of the story immediately. And the most important information also we call it as lead, LEDE, or summary lead. So I will take example, and it is usually contains the 5WH question, which is the where, when, who, what, why, and how. So I take example from the Malay local news, which is from Berita Harian Online. The news at 29 October 2020, which is the first paragraph that contain the 5WH question, which alur gajah, umat Islam di negeri ini meraihkan sambutan Maulidur Rasul tanpa perarakan, berikutan langkah kerajaan negeri ini menangguhkan program berskala besar akibat pandemik COVID-19. So, in this news, which using the direct quotes is in the paragraph 5, which is sesuai dengan tema sambutan Maulidur Rasul tahun ini, Ummah Rabbani, negara aman. Marilah kita berdoa supaya Allah menganugerahkan kita kestabilan ekonomi, sosial, dan politik di negara kita. And attribution in this news is from Mufti Melaka Datuk Wira Abdul Halim Tawil, which is in the paragraph 4. So I think that is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aufa binti Zainul. My metric number is 11806161. So next, I want to talk about the body, which is the second most important part of the news and also known as the crucial info. The body contains the timeline story of certain cases and also the elaboration of the story. This part where all the arguments and controversies being told and the truth of the story being revealed. It also contains the background of the cases, the person who are involved in the cases, and also the facts, the logic of the facts being occurred. In addition, the body part also contains all the image related to the cases and also the video if the news was published online. All these materials are used to support as the evidence to support the news and also to expand the topic. Okay, let's look into the body part of the actual news. For example, from the news that we found from Berita Harian Online, which is the headline is COVID-19, 8 positif kluster baharu di Johor. So, the body part of this news was told about how the new cluster was found and the total of the new cases in Johor. So, it is clear that the elaboration was at the body part of this news. Okay, so next, the second news is about is from My Metro Online. Is about Neelofa sudah berpurdah. Okay, so the body parts of this news was about the interview. The interview that happened between the reporter and Neelofa, and about why and how Neelofa makes such a big change in her life. So we can see the story and the comment from Neelofa from her change. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
So now it's my turn to explain about the inverted pyramid style. So firstly, my name is Naha binti Samri with metric number 118062. So now I will explain about the third part in inverted pyramid style, which is the least important part, which is the journalist added some extra information or related info based on the stories or news and they write. So based on our research of newspaper, we can see one of them, the tail parts in the News Straits Times printed newspaper with headline Penang villagers fear foreign worker hostel. Actually, this news story was about the villager that lived near Jalan Kolam in Bayan Lepas, few with the foreign workers which live near them that have been related with the COVID-19 cases. So the journalists also added some extra information about the rises of the cases in the same places in Penang, and can see it in the last paragraph. On Wednesday, the Health Ministry announced a new cluster in Penang. The Bayan cluster, 6 cases have been reported from the cluster. So the journalists used the inverted pyramid style to make the storyline look structured. Even in this news story, not strictly follow the inverted pyramid style, but the journalist still have this element style in his writing, so the storyline will look structured, and the readers also can gain extra information from their reading. And then next, the inverted pyramid style in the feature writing or soft news is from the Straits Times Online newspaper with the headline Flourishing Plants. The tale that found in these feature writings is to ensure good feng shui in the house, place the cactus outside. Homeowners should also avoid putting plants with red flowers and bonsai inside the house. They are best kept in an open space or garden. Bonsai are cultivated for the indoor environment. If kept indoor, this tree can weaken and die. In this feature writing, we can see the journalist applying the inverted pyramid style, which at the last the journalist added some advice or tips for the homeowner how to take care of certain plants, like as mentioned in the stories above. And then the readers not only read it with relax and calm, but it also get a little bit of extra information, especially for those who love planting. So that's based on my analysis of inverted pyramid style in news writing and also feature writings. So now for the conclusion for the whole. In general, news stories are organized using the inverted pyramid style, in which information is presented in this heading order of importance. It is important to note that not all news stories strictly follow the inverted pyramid style, although the lead for a hard news pieces always does. Therefore, it's important for a student to learn the style. One good way to do so is to regularly read the hard news story and pay attention to how the leads are structured. The leads also known as the summary leads. And the student also needs to recognize the structure of news, such as headline, lead, and what related with the news stories. So it could help students on how to write news or feature writings with systematic way. So that's all for me. Thank you.